What do you do with an RMD that you don't need? Now, an RMD stands for a required minimum distribution. The government makes you take it. If you don't need it, what should you do with it? That's what we're going to talk about coming up next. Hey, this is Mel Stubbs. I'm a financial planner at Christy Capital Management, and we hope to bring you good content so that you can retire better. We aim to leave you better off after watching our videos than you were before you watched. And if you need help with your retirement planning, go to our website, christycapital.com. So under the current law, at age 72, you have to start taking required minimum distributions from your traditional IRAs, traditional TSPs, traditional 401ks. So what if you're funding your lifestyle out of your pension and out of your Social Security, and you don't need the RMD to fund your lifestyle? Well, what typically happens is in your traditional IRA, they will send you your RMD each year, and it starts accumulating in your checking account. At some point, the checking account may get big enough that you open up an investment account for taxable money, and it starts accumulating there. But is there some next step planning that you could do with that money? We're going to go over several options that you could do with this excess money if you don't need it to fund your lifestyle. Number one, you can give it away. The qualified charitable distribution is something that you can do from a traditional IRA where you send the money to a church or charity and the money goes directly to them and it does not come to you. You can set this up where your RMD can do this. Now there's a limit of $100,000 a year, so you have to stay below that limit. But since the money goes directly to the charity, it's not taxable. Normally RMDs are 100% taxable at your tax bracket. And so giving the money directly to charity avoids the taxes on this. So if you're charitably minded, this can be a great option. Now, qualified charitable distributions are not allowed inside the TSP. Even with the new updates that have just happened, they are still not allowed from TSP and most employer-sponsored plans like 401k. You have to do it from an IRA. So number two, you could give the money away to your children or loved ones. Now the current gift limit each year is $16,000 as of 2022, and if you're married, then both you and your spouse can give that limit to someone. This would allow a married couple to give $32,000 a year to someone. Now this is a great way if your children or family members have things that they need to get done, like go to college, get their first car, have a down payment on a house. If there are things that they need help with, then you can use your excess RMD to help make that be a good option for you. Now there's no tax benefit for this like the qualified charitable distribution you had. You will take your RMD, it will be taxed, and then you can give away the after-tax amount if you don't want to accumulate it. I know sometimes you feel like your children are charity cases, but the IRS does not think so, unfortunately. Another option would be to do a Roth conversion with the RMD proceeds. Now notice you cannot Roth convert the RMD amount. You're forced to withdraw the RMD amount and it goes to your checking account. Now you can take this money that is now in your checking account and use that to pay the taxes on a Roth conversion. Here's an example. So let's say that you have a $30,000 RMD. When the custodian sends you that money, they will be holding back the taxes. So this example, let's say that they're going to deposit $24,000 in your checking account. Next, you could go and Roth convert, let's say $100,000 from your IRA to your Roth IRA and not withhold any taxes. Then you could use the $24,000 that just showed up in your checking account to go pay the taxes on that amount. This is a simple illustration to show all the moving parts. There would need to be some planning built into this to figure out how much should you Roth convert based on your income and your income tax bracket. How much taxes should you be paying based on your income tax bracket? This is just a simplified example, but what Roth converting would do for you is that it would continually lower your traditional balances so that each year your RMD would be lower. If you did this enough years in a row, eventually the traditional balance would get low enough and potentially go away and you'd stop getting an RMD. So that was a lot to say that you could use your RMD to pay taxes and do a Roth conversion. Now as a reminder, you cannot do a Roth conversion inside the TSP, and you cannot do a Roth conversion inside most employer plans like 401ks. Another thing you could do with an RMD is to get permanent life insurance. The Secure Act has changed the way IRAs get left to non-spouse beneficiaries. This new treatment makes leaving someone an IRA less appealing than it used to be. The tax advantages that used to be there are not there to the same extent. So if you're wanting to leave a bunch of money to a non-spouse beneficiary, IRAs are not as powerful as they used to be. So this has brought back life insurance as a great way to leave a death benefit. You can use the required minimum distribution that you receive each year to fund a permanent life insurance policy. Now what's great about these policies is that they also have living benefits built in. It's not just a death benefit that makes the policy attractive. There are terminal illness riders that let you access the death benefit early if needed. There's a critical illness rider that lets you access money should you have a stroke or heart attack or something like that. And then here's the big one. It has chronic illness rider that acts like long-term care provisions. You can access the death benefit early to pay for long-term care if you need it. And if you don't need any of these living benefits, then the death benefit will be there payable generally tax-free to your beneficiaries. This may be a better use of your money rather than just letting the RMD start building up in your checking account by putting the money to work through life insurance to leave a bigger death benefit to your beneficiaries tax-free. By getting a permanent life insurance policy, you are getting a guaranteed death benefit. That means you know how much you're going to be leaving to your beneficiary. That amount is not determined by stock market performance. Assuming you pay the required premiums like you're supposed to, the death benefit is guaranteed to your beneficiaries. And that premium can be paid with the RMD money that you receive every year, that you're forced to receive every year. And remember in our example, you're not using this or needing this RMD. This can be a good use for it. So these are just a few examples of what you could do with the unneeded RMDs. Now, if you are not age 72 yet, there are some planning things that you can do now so that you don't have to have RMDs later. These RMDs can push you up into tax brackets that you may not want to be in. So let's say that you're 55, 60, 65. You can do some of these planning things now to manage the RMDs by either Roth converting enough money that you don't have RMDs at all, or at least Roth converting enough so that the RMDs are manageable. If you want to work with a company that's forward-thinking, that's a fiduciary, and that's looking out for what's in your best interest, please reach out to Christy Capital Management. You can believe that planning ahead for taxes and planning ahead for RMDs is in your best interest. Please reach out to Christy Capital Management, go to the website, send us some of the information so that we can reach back out to you. Call the number on your screen. Whatever works best for you, let's see if we can help. My name is Mel Stubbs. I'll see you on the next video. We need to do the proper disclaimers. The purpose of this video is not to give specific tax advice or investment advice. We're going over general principles and ideas that can be used, and if used correctly can save and avoid taxes. You're going to want to work with someone personally who knows your situation personally. So seek out advice from an independent financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. I hope you enjoyed the video.